at a very early age. As I found out, your life can change in a minute. I was about 10 years old and did my regular Saturday routine with a friend of mine, and we used to do a gym and swim. And after we did our gym and swim, we did our regular little bit of lunch and shopping. And I was supposed to call home by 3 o'clock because we were basically gone for most of the day. No answer. Got home, 5 p.m. There was a note taped to the door. Go see neighbor. I thought, this is not looking like I wanted to. There was no dinner, there was nobody home. So I went to the neighbor's house and I found out that my dad had actually been admitted to the hospital, was in a motorcycle accident, and I didn't know anything else. So this was just the start of a beginning of a long process in the hospital. He almost died twice. He had blood clots running through his heart. And I discovered that life is very precious, and I grew up a little bit faster than I thought. So emotion strikes, and when you go through an event like that, it changes your whole sense of reality. So I found out that decision making actually has to be so much faster. I had decided early on too that I could take advantage of the opportunity. I learned to speak to adults early. I learned about healthcare because I was from a border city. My dad was in the hospital with other people that were from the U.S. So I learned about U.S. healthcare as well as Canadian healthcare. And I think I developed good communication skills and learned to advocate early on for myself. So as a parent or child, controlling your emotions and realizing that yes, you can change your situation. Your situation can be changed, but you can control your emotions. And the feeling of being frightened or helplessness is just like the stock market, basically. And it is a cycle, and we'll overcome it. So all the basics of having your health and not having your health is something, again, that changes very quickly. And we had a situation actually in Canada, in Fort McMurray, where the forest fires are blazing. And people lost their homes. They basically lost everything, but they were just happy to have their families intact, and there were lives lost, but people do overcome these things, and it's just material possessions. And so the actual sense of fear of loss is a condition that you can overcome, and with the sense of a role of also the role of a parent. It's very, very important to have conversations with your children about what, the things that you are going through. And it's a good education for them as well, too. Also, the connections that you make in society with neighbors become so much more important. So this was something I just wanted to share, and it was one of the reasons that I actually got into this, into financial planning. So why do women need to be financially independent in this century? There are huge fluctuations in our economic system. It's a dynamic, changing environment. So I have so many clients that have been impacted by the change of environment. Corporations are changing, emerging. Your Europeans are and actually a lot of American companies are divesting of pension assets. So those are being challenged, and as well the outsourcing for a 24-hour timeline for companies is a huge thing. So they're doing one set of work with people in Canada. They're submitting the data back and forth. So this leads to so many other things like security. As well as changing economic conditions very fast. climate changes, there are changes in food prices. There's areas where, like for example, coffee beans and all sorts of other commodities will be one price, and there's unexpected market shifts. And as a result of being so connected to the media and social media, it's basically like a 24-hour market. And the market participation, for example, the last stock market crash in China was as a result of not just professional participants. There are so many participants that are in the market now that haven't had the exposure. So there's a lot more fluctuation. So the variation is just going to become more and more significant. And for this also, currency fluctuations, Canada just had there was basically a 30% US dollar correction with Canada, and the Canadian dollar just came up about 8 or 9% just in a couple of months. So those are very significant things. So these kinds of things mean that there is more education necessary for portfolio managers, as well as for all of us. The portfolio managers as well have to adapt, kind of like to a pension style of management, and also the pension system has, like the teacher's pension plan in Ontario has about one in 3 members that are retired, and in about 2022 it'll be 2/3. So this has a lot of pressure on our financial system, as well as changes how they will be able to do their investments and calculations and that type of thing. So this is going to lead to pension changes in the next few years. And as well, we are outliving men, probably for about 7 to 10 years, so we'll need to at least have financial assets for about 3 to 5 years into retirement. Franklin Templeton Investments, Sir John Templeton was one of the first visionaries. And his basic premise was that any long-range investment program requires patience and perseverance. And this patience and perseverance is at least a 7 to 10 year timeline. Peace of mind is what I'm trying to generate for people. And if you're on the peace of mind and getting into the correct path for most people is the shortest way to get there, not the longest way. And also the idea to achieving your goals is a longer term process. People do not have one set of, usually, unless of course you're a professional in a practice, but most people usually have about 2 to 3 different careers. And I'm finding with my clients that are retired now, they're going into perhaps something that they were passionate about in their life that they didn't have a chance to do. So one of my clients in the insurance industry just retired, and she's going into doing art and actually selling through various social media. So I connected her with another person. And so these are things that will become secondary income because the whole 65 retirement is just way too early, and people are finding they're bored and they need to have a social outlet too, so they're working. So most of my clients are actually working till about age 71 or even 72. And I think that's a standard thing. So the idea of one income, it's not to live in the sea of sameness, it's to be different and differentiate. And how do I differentiate? Financial planning, just like anything else, is a game. It's a zero-sum game. There's a winner and there's a loser. And as well, to be a real market participant, you really have to stay the course, and it is very much like a roller coaster. Donald Trump, how many ideas has he incubated, brought to market? Bill Gates and Oprah. Oprah I really, really admire because she has constantly incubated several ideas, and she brings so many people so much joy. And what she's had to overcome in her lifetime is quite amazing. She's on the list of in the top 20 entrepreneurs. All of these women that have inherited their businesses, either through father or through husband. But she is number 17 in that category, and I find that fascinating. So diversification, optimism, and endurance. Also, I think the impact is as women. I have a friend that does radio shows in the real estate market, and we don't realize the impact that we have in the market. Home Depot has changed forever, as my husband says, because of you women. The home renovation and the media has benefited by, I think, by the whole real estate cycle. And as well, Home Depot is a fantastic stock to own. It's very well run, and it is actually run by a woman. Also, I think so many of the ideas now that women create and renew and revamp companies is also fascinating. Excellent. So how can I, as a woman, create income monthly or annually that delivers predictable minimum annual recurring revenue in any economic cycle? And can you do this without financial damage or having to sell assets? So a lot of people are in secondary businesses like real estate. I've put some sheets on the table. I really enjoy speaking with portfolio managers because they have such a facility to when they speak about these companies, it's just like for them making a piece of toast. It's just unbelievable. And Warren Buffett, I was lucky enough to attend his 2008 presentation. And they're fascinating. They have thousands and thousands of people in Omaha that come to see the two of them and his business partner. And what I find amazing is that they have all the businesses in their portfolio, they treat them like family members. They speak to them in the morning, speak to them in the afternoon, evening, and as well they drop in on the companies with very short notice. And a lot of other corporations do that, but they have a practice of regularly doing that because they do not look at buying an investment for a short time. They look at purchasing an investment as well as a family member to keep it for a long range, and that's why they've had such success with their insurance companies, with ice cream, with the C's chocolates and that type of thing. So they really, really know the company. So whatever you decide to do as entrepreneurs, know your market, know your product, and you will have success with it. So in some of the things that you can encounter if you do have a critical illness is insurance. If you have no insurance, it does pose a bit of an issue because the money that you're earning monthly can be replaced by disability insurance or by critical illness. And as well, having your financial house in order is something that is very, very easily attainable with having a financial advisor. As well, the critical illness, there are 1 in 4 people that will have a critical illness. And conditions are actually increasing with our lifespan. The incidence actually at age 70, my uncle just had cancer, and it's such an impact on the healthcare system. It's a huge ordeal. We went through several chemo appointments, radiation, and it's a huge impact on the healthcare system. So as well, having great family connections, we took turns as well with his care and with long-term care. And if you have the family connections, it's also a great support. So having somebody to call in emergency also relieves the healthcare system, but it gives them a great sense of satisfaction. So a lot of the I've shown one fund here, the Dynamic Equity Income Fund. Most of the elements of this portfolio are basic things in the economy. And as well, if you have those investments, these over a 7-year time horizon end up doubling. So the basic rule of 72 is if you have an 8% return, you will double in 9 years. So that's one of the simplest benchmarks for investing. And as well, one of the things that I learned in business, sometimes the hard way, is the level of exchange. And it doesn't matter whether it's financial planning or you're giving any kind of advice, it's always good to get some kind of exchange, because with the exchange, partial exchange, whether it's air conditioning or any other issue, you will have a client that you will have for many, many years, and the fair exchange in terms of what you get and what they get will be part of a good relationship. The cancer statistics in Canada, basically, in our healthcare system, we're spending about $6,000 Canadian per person, and these statistics are going up. In the US, it's about $8,000 per person, so it's having a huge impact on our GDP. And also the government factors, these are increasing, so these stats are just going to be going up for our GDP. Globalization. Another benchmark too, and I just find it amazing that the government is just starting to benchmark our trade, because this has been established actually in 2004, and they're also using Pareto. Is everybody familiar with the Pareto principle? The 80-20 rule? So whether it's 80% of your income is going to come from basically 20% of your clients, or 80% of your production, in this case, the GDP is actually coming from 23 countries. So they basically only benchmark 23 countries, and as well, it's a relatively new statistic. So these statistics come out quarterly. Next slide, please. So another issue with globalization is the speed of information. People expect information to be delivered quickly. So I think for data, we're relying on a lot of IT companies to deliver these things. And I think the way that financial services will be delivered in the future, now the Skype meetings, I think, are becoming more and more necessary as things change and people are busy. I have so many clients now that are moving from the area, the territories are are huge and expanding, from US to China to South America. And I met somebody here yesterday that works with Little Caesars, and I'm from the close to the Detroit area. And she is now she moved from the US to Holland, and she has the Arab Emirates, as well as, so for supply chain, as well as Europe, and there's one other territory, I think Africa. So this is a huge thing. So I think people are traveling, like the sales reps, everywhere. And it's more and more demanding on our schedule, but it just shows and of course Little Caesars is a very successful company. It's on the top, I think the top 20. But people around the world are very much focused on the brand recognition. And so I think instead of traveling less, people are actually traveling more and becoming experts in each area. Besides, let's see, I think being a good connector, that was mentioned quite frequently through the seminars. I think each and every one of us here are all here for a purpose. We're all here to connect with each other, and I've never met such a group of dynamic people. Really, it's been fantastic to be at this conference and just to be able to, I guess, spread the word and spread the female entrepreneurialism. So I just want to thank each and every one of you here for sharing how and why that you've gotten into your individual business. Because I think this kind of thing is it's contagious, but it's absolutely wonderful. And if we can, our economy is changing, and it's not so much a salary-based environment anymore. And I think that these skills, they're not taught in schools. I think they're taught from person to person and business to business. And the clients that I have that have businesses and very, very successful businesses are not actually passing them on to their children. They're taking advantage of the opportunity, divesting it, selling it, sharing it, but the children are not getting involved unless they get financial training, because there's a huge responsibility. And this is the question that's coming up more and more. How do I train and how do I get my child coached, one, to inherit money, and also to follow through with the business? Because the task, once you're at around 15 to 20 to $25 million, it's a huge responsibility. You've got a huge payroll, perhaps huge inventory, other monthly expenses, insurance. So it's a huge responsibility to pass that on. And I think that's kind of the next range, and as well psychological as well too, because of the responsibility factor. So you have the knowledge factor, the responsibility, and until they have those, until they really get that knowledge from either the founder or from other founders to acquire responsibility, perhaps of going through maybe 1 or 2 market cycles, they won't be able to function as well adapt to the changes, because the changes and not keeping statistics will either push people out of business, like for example typewriter cartridges. How long that was a very, very amazing business for many people in Toronto and globally. But if you, as well, we were talking about the stock with Netflix. And so the way that people consume items and move to a different form of technology, it is very dynamic. Even CDs, most people have adopted different ways of transferring media, and we have different words for for our stick, our jump stick, and for all these other things. So the way that transmission of ideas, of data, of these businesses is constantly evolving, and it is something that we need to have. It's a coaching. I think that coaching will be part of our lives forever, whether it's as well psychologically because of the changing relationships and again the transparency issues and taxation. Everything is just constantly changing. So next slide. So as well, I think globalization is a huge part of that. And the GDP, our GDP, I think, is, again, we're changing from a consumer society to goods to really services. And the whole, our stock market index is changing as well, because we're not producing goods so much as we are intellectual property. And intellectual property, again, is hard to benchmark. It's only as good as what somebody will pay for it. And as well, I have some friends that are developing things in that. We have actually a doctor here that's doing some amazing things in the market, very, very exciting. And maybe you want to share a little bit of that after. But the ideas that are being generated are changing fundamentally our market, as well as for whether it's for animal or for human, for cancer research. And some of the cancer medications are not just helping to control the conditions, they're actually curing the conditions. So I think there's so many exciting things that are happening in the market right now. As well, increased manufacturing again. Our cell phones have different parts, different manufacturing. The BlackBerry, which was a Canadian product, is not so much Canadian as it is global now. And my uncle had made testing boxes, and those testing boxes actually went around the world. And the various parts that are in a cell phone, it's every single one of these devices is a global device now. Oh, okay. And one important thing that I wanted to mention is even our governments have changed regulation with, for example, Nortel is a Canadian stock, and before the correction with Nortel stock, I had somebody come in and just talk about they had basically one stock in their investment portfolio. And this is something that the government had to change because of it just basically crashed. The whole system crashed because of one stock. And so not just the advocacy, but many people lost their homes and lost all their pension assets because of one stock. So the provincial government, the federal government had to change. Diversification is more and more important today. And I had witnessed that myself, that investors were coming in, having different portfolios, whether it was Nortel or real estate, and losing everything. And I've been a financial advisor for 20 years, and it's a very humbling experience, I think, for somebody to be such a successful investor and come in and speak with a young person about this. But diversification just is necessary in this environment. 90% of the returns will come from diversification. Again, in this market, if for us as Canadians, if we have U.S. investments, 2 years ago, the returns were over 30%. And so we benefited by your U.S. dollar going up, 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 up. Huge, just 30%, double-digit returns for 2 years. And now as well, if you have, but it can also work against you. So the portfolio managers are using a lot of mathematical models now to kind of control risk, and that's one of the things that I really focus on is managing risk. And they're using, again, mathematical models to do that. So financial advisors help to keep the returns in one kind of like benchmarked, but everybody has different investment risks, and it depends on your own personal needs. Next slide. Okay. Okay, let's keep going. I'll just the OECD again. These statistics are the importance of, I think, healthcare is very important in your financial fitness. If you can keep your, as well, I think emotional health is also tied in with physical health, and as well as business. And I think transparency in business as well, and as well the directorships and having a good balance of having good financial modeling and good ethics in business will keep everything profitable and successful for investors, and I think generally for everybody. So I guess 1 minute? Okay. So millennials now have overtaken baby boomers. The area of age 15 to 35, this is actually just in the last 5 years. So the demographics are different. And I think that baby boomers, if you can take somebody and mentor them, a student, a client, somebody else's client, or other children, I think this group needs to be mentored because they have so many ideas, so many amazing ideas. I was just actually at a young businesswoman's group, 20-year-olds, and they're actually manufacturing earrings with technology, so you can actually store your data in your earrings. And this is from an MBA student in Toronto, and so they're developing, like, I can, oh my God, so many amazing ideas, and these are not technology pieces like that are made for men. They're not clunky, they're not big, they're not masculine. They're earrings and they're bracelets and all these kinds of things. So I think the mentoring process is amazing. So if you can do that, by all means. And I love Joan Rivers, and I'm sad, very sad that she's gone. But can you just go back? People say that money is not the key to happiness, but I always figured that if you have enough money, you can get a key made. So let's close it at that. And are there any questions? Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. I would like to request the panelists to put some light on it.
Thank you.
Can I have some water, please? 5 minutes. Who's intimidated by all this? Anyone? Come on. Yes? Yes. I've got to tell you that the reason that women don't invest their money, the reason they don't hire financial advisors, is that it's so intimidating. The language, the complexity, the fact that you can do everything right. Everything. You can get the insurance and you can invest in the stock market, and then something happens in your life that turns it upside down. You can lose everything. You can lose everything overnight and then start all over again. There are a lot of serious things that happen in life. I lost my husband suddenly 6 years ago, and after having invested and saved and made a lot of money over a lot of years, I realized that life is very, very short. And when all the rules have changed, what do? Well, it's important for women to put their life first. You think about what you want. Where do you want to be in 5 years? Where do you want to be in 10 or 20 years? And plan from there. You said that the rules have all changed. They've all changed. That's her point. They've all changed. The markets have changed. The strategies have changed. We don't have the pensions that we used to have. And yet, so much of the change is in our favor. The internet, communication, transportation. You really can do what you want to do for a living, and you can do it anywhere in the world. You really can lose everything and start all over again and make up for it. There are different strategies you can use. The three main ones are saving. Go back to basics. Save. Diversify. And plan. You can't plan really for 30 years from now, but you can plan for tomorrow. You can plan by saving and taking that savings and diversifying in a lot of different areas. There are a lot of ways in which you can save money. There's a lot of ways in which you can invest money. But if you realize that your money is yours, it's no one else's, it's not your financial advisor's, it's your money. And what you keep and what you grow is going to be there for you 5 years from now or 10 years from now. So does it make sense to find a path to save the money, to grow the money? She was talking about the rule of 72. Does anybody know what that is? The rule of 72, I don't have time, I'll explain it fast. It just means that your money's going to double every so many years. And the bigger the rate of growth you get, or the interest rate, or the return that you get on your money, the sooner your money will double. If you don't save your money and invest it, it will never double. And if you invest it right, it will double faster. So if you have 20 years to spend, and your money doubles every 5 years, then you can take, $100 and you can make something big out of it in 20 years. But if you only have 5 or 10 years, then what's your strategy? You can assume more risk in order to get a bigger return, to try to double it faster and risk losing more of it, or you find a balance. You find diversification, that is pools of money where you can put your money in different types of investments, never one investment, different types. This is what a portfolio is. You put some money in stocks, some money in bonds, some money in mutual funds, some money in real estate investments, etc. There's many, many, many. And you watch them all grow in different ways. So some are going to grow faster and some are going to grow slower. The faster ones have a little more risk, the slower ones a little less. But if you spread it out, you're going to maximize your return while minimizing your risk. And that's really what it's all about, right? All that fine print just means you save, you invest, you diversify, and then you protect. And she was talking about insurance. Insurance means that an insurance company assumes the risk instead of you. So if you have a loved one, let's say you have a couple of kids, and you want to make sure that they're going to have some money someday when you're gone. You can save all your money and not spend it on you because you want them to have it when you're gone. Or you can spend a small amount of money, give it to an insurance company to hold. And someday when you're gone, after having spent all the money you want in your lifetime, you can travel, you can have fun, you can have the houses. When you're gone, the insurance company takes care of your kids for you. That's pretty much the basics.
I just want to say thank you for sharing your experience. And you're 100% right, because I need to tell you that a friend of mine that's a medical doctor looked at my presentation and said, please, let's take the number of misunderstood words out of this presentation. And it is intimidating because we do throw around jargon regularly, and there is no clear definition for it. Even a portfolio manager, we had spoke a week ago, and he had to clarify his definition of infrastructure for me and for the rest of us, because what does infrastructure mean? It means water, it means roads, it means airports, all of these kinds of things. But his definition is different from another portfolio manager. He's pure infrastructure, things that are only like one or two or of a kind. So thank you very much for sharing that. And
Just a note on portfolio managers. They love those big words. They're like mathematicians with numbers. They love it. Let them do it. But you take control of your money. You save it. You take some of it and you take it to an investment advisor that you trust. And who is that? Maybe it's a referral from a friend, someone who has trusted him or her with their money and it's actually worked out. Find someone you trust and take baby steps and let them worry about the words. But if you can get the basic education, then that's all you need. But the main thing is, just don't throw your money away because you think it's hopeless. It's never hopeless. If you've got $1, it will double. If you've got 100, it will double. Right?
thank you.
Thank you.
One favor to ask, we were talking about exchange. I just have a little survey with 4 questions, so if everybody could you don't have to put your name on it, but if you'd like to, that's fine too. Just to let me know what you found beneficial and what can improve. Yes, please.
It was really nice. Now I come up to the public for the opening of the session and question answers, if any.
You are recommending financial planners that we should listen to them. But my personal experience has been that they make us buy certain products in which they get a hefty commission and we are in a loss. So how does one tackle that? Because when they come, they smooth talk, they said I invested in a fund, but they said when the markets will not do good, the contra funds will do better. And when the market actually went down, that fund also went down. So when I met the person who runs the fund house, he says, I can't do anything about it. So also trusting fully the financial advisor, I would not really go for it because my personal experience has been something else. How does one find a proper one?
The important thing is the way they're paid is different. And there's a lot of different types of financial advisors. But there are fee structures that advisors have where they're not making money on every transaction. They're making a percentage of your earnings. That's the one that you want. If you do well, they do well. If they don't invest your money right, they're not going to make much money off of you. So don't hire a transactional advisor. Find out what their fee structure is and find out if it's such that as you make more money, they get a little bit, more. But basically, if you hire someone who just gets a percentage, let's say it's, 2%, then you're going to be pretty safe. And make sure that, they have good credentials and that you know someone who has used them. You know what? Some of my best friends are financial, investment advisors, and these people work really hard for their money. They are so stressed. They stress every time the markets go down because they're worried about all their clients. Their clients, she's been doing this 20 years. Their clients are long term. If you get someone who has a good track record, who's been doing it for 20 years, they don't want to lose their clients. They don't want their clients to go bankrupt, or they don't make any money. That's why they're paid a percentage.
I'm nothing in financial, but I have to say, I'm in business too, and referrals are very important, credibility. If you're gonna, you wanna go, let's say for instance, you wanna go buy something, usually friends tell you, go this store or go that store, and you wanna listen to them. The same principle applies to everything you do in life. You go to your friends, to your family, to proven methods, and to referrals. Any business is all about referrals. I'm sorry, you need to be a rocket scientist to know that. It's all about credibility. And nowadays with internet, with social media, with all this availability to us, it's not a problem to find out. We can be fearful just crossing the street. You never know what's going to hit you. So basically, there is no certainty in this lifetime, I would say.
There's only one really bad plan.
Number one broken house here in India. And when I met the managing director, he told the junior that you have sold her a wrong product. So you see, they also make all these mistakes.
We have different regulations in our countries, in states.
That's right. Yeah, different regulations, but also, financial advisors, they take a percentage of your profit, but remember, if you do well, let's say you put $20,000. With this $20,000, if you did $150,000 and they took $50,000, you have $100,000 from only the $20,000 that you did. So I think if I'm doing, if I'm giving 50,000 and I'm getting $500,000, I think I can give them 100,000 as a gift. Thank you, because I did $500,000. So I don't mind to share 0.5% of it. It's going to be good.
I agree with my friend Isabel, because this in life is all about giving and receiving. We can expect that we're going to be, overnight rich and other people don't deserve to eat. It's a principle of this life cycle that we're living on this earthly realm. I'm sorry, it's true.
Sorry to interrupt you, but one of the panelists is also present over here. She is late. Charity Sichard. I would request her to come on the dais and share this session.
Thank you. Good morning. This afternoon. I arrived at 4 o'clock this morning and I'm still trying to remember where the hell am I. I've been traveling all the way from Zambia, and it was quite an interesting trip. And I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I'm just going to look at financial fitness from an African perspective. I am here as the board chairperson of the largest bank in Zambia, the Zambia National Commercial Bank. And the reason why I chose financial fitness was because we have a very dedicated program in Zanaco in actually disseminating information for financial fitness. And it actually covers both male and female. And I thought for those of us who are women leaders of organizations that can actually contribute to enhancing knowledge of financial fitness, this was a good forum as any. So, like I said, I'm Charity, and I'm the board chairperson of Zanaco. And our program really is about assisting people to create wealth for themselves. And wealth is defined in many different ways, because wealth could be a bank account that is filled with lots of, in my country we call it kwacha, a lot of kwacha or US dollars. We can also have wealth through our children. In the African society, a lot of emphasis was laid on having as many children as possible, because if you look at culturally, we had a lot of fields to go and have agriculture roots as our means of wealth creation. So the more children you have, the more people you have with the field. So by that standard, I'll be very poor today because I only have the one child. But having said that, it's so important to realize that we have to complement each other's efforts. As women leaders, as women entrepreneurs, I like the point that you were making, that referrals are very critical. We all make very, very difficult and different decisions, but what Zanaco tries to do is set out a small training program for farmers at a small scale, for women entrepreneurs at a small, medium enterprise level, as well as for children and the youth. You were talking earlier about how do we impress our children to be financially fit. So we go right down to upper primary school, teaching children about saving. Then they go on and we have programs for them to include their parents to actually participate in financial fitness. Because you really don't want to lose children that are financially indisciplined on society, because they become a burden not only to themselves, but also to the economy at large, especially for those countries that have social welfare. In Africa, many countries don't have a social welfare program. We have the extended family program that actually helps to enhance looking after one another. But in terms of financial fitness, the way we are referring to it is to provide basic financial knowledge, education, or financial literacy. And we use a whole host of media, both electronic and print, including one-on-one, face-to-face interactions with our SMEs using our branch network. As Zanaco, we also have a very strong gender policy. I'm very happy to advise that this was actually implemented in my time. I just joined them as board chair a year ago. And we have actually implemented a very broad-based gender policy in the bank, which employs about 1,300 staff, of which 694 are female. And in that program, we've also included a financial literacy program about how to manage your money. As a banker myself, I've had over 20 years experience as a banker. I've worked for Citibank, Barclays Bank, EcoBank. I've also realized that as women, we need to be able to divorce ourselves from our social upbringing in our homes, where we are told your job is to cook, to clean, to get married, bear children, be a grandmother. We need to divorce ourselves because we are quite savvy when it comes to handling money. I'm not even talking business, just how we handle a small budget. Tomorrow I'll be talking about how our mothers and grandmothers save money. And it's very interesting that those things have not changed. They may have been refined over the years, but when we look at our gender policy, is to enhance our female managers, our female leaders, to be able to put their best foot forward as women and not feel as if they've got anything to hold back because they're a woman. So when it comes to financial fitness, we really must start with the girl child at the knee and let them grow up, become local or global entrepreneurs of great significance wherever they may be. So I just wanted to share that briefly. And if there's any information you'd like in terms of us discussing how our organizations, whether they are large corporates or small corporates or individual enterprises, I'm happy to share with you whatever we are doing as Zanaco to enhance financial fitness. Thank you very much.
To speak to one point, you'd mentioned that you have some history with Barclays Bank. So this is a huge thing right now. Barclays Bank published not just a survey, but about women executives. BMO has also published a report. And there's Credit Suisse, I believe, is also, currently there are about 4% of CEOs that are women. So this whole thing is changing. It's making a huge shift. Not only are they becoming, corporate boards are changing, but it's mandated. This is going to be part of an index now. The SRI, are you familiar with? Yeah, the whole SRI, socially responsible investing, is including women executives in the class of investing. So this is a huge thing that's coming forward. Also, I need to mention all of you, if you are in a directorship, because I just actually went through this with a female executive, please purchase executive insurance or board insurance. Please do that, because it will not just impact your current activities, but if there's something from the past as a board member or as an executive board member, I know because I went through this case with, it was in tax court, but your position as an executive will hold you responsible for other issues in the past. And this is a big thing. So as it becomes a bigger thing, the whole process, court, and all this it's another big word. But anyway, it's all changing. So please purchase insurance.
Coming to the facilitation, I would request Lupa ma'am to facilitate Sally Domingo ma'am as an iconic woman in wellness.
Thank you.
Few things to take away from this session. 1, invest. 2nd, save. 3rd, invest in a proper way. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, delegates, and thank you, speakers.
What's the next session?
Absolutely no sound. As we can't exist without boundaries, and we are not comfortable settings. I get compassion and quotes vulnerability without
Just to see something.
they're not fake walls. They're not separation. Boundaries are not division. They're respect.
Thank you very much.
Joy, are you here the whole week?
You bet. We'll see you around the block.
Definitely see you around the...
Peter. Take a lot of time to bed.
One of the shocking findings of my work was the idea that the most compassionate people I had interviewed over the last 13 years were also the absolutely most boundary. Because so I'll give you the definition of boundary that I use in the book. Boundary is simply what's okay and what's not okay. What I think we do is we don't set boundaries. We let people do things that are not okay, or get away with behaviors that are not okay, then we're just resentful and hateful. Me, I'd rather be loving and generous and very straightforward with what's okay and what's not okay. And I did not, that I learned from the research. I was the exact opposite. I assumed for the first 35 years of my life that people were sucking on purpose just to piss me off. That's what I assumed. But yeah, right. Whether it was someone who worked for me or it was someone family member who was constantly like, I was always critical and judgy. And I was like, why are you choosing these things? Why are you making the choices? They should know better. And then when this thing came up from my therapist, what if people are doing the best they can? I thought, my husband had the most beautiful answer to that question. He said, I'll never know whether people are doing the best they can or not. But when I assume people are, it makes my life better. So now I think I am not as sweet as I used to be, but I'm far more loving.
Was that just some technique so that you could use it as really way of being to nurture that soul and
generosity, pursuing the best about people, is almost an inherently selfish act.
So I'm just gonna take my picture and actually in the
So my question is this, the what boundaries need to be in place for me to stay in my integrity and make the most generous assumptions about you? But generosity can't exist without boundaries, and we are not comfortable setting boundaries. Because we care more about what people will think, and we don't want to disappoint anyone, we want everyone to like us, and boundaries are not easy. But I think they're the key to self-love, and I think they're the key to treating others with love and kindness. Sustaining. Nothing is sustainable without boundaries. I think compassion and empathy are different things, and again, I'm relying on my data for this. I think compassion is a deeply held belief that we're inextricably connected to each other by something rooted in love and goodness. I call that God. Not everybody calls that God. My dad would call it fishing. Fishing? No, there's no G in fishing. But I think compassion is a deeply held belief. I think empathy is the skill set to bring compassion alive. So empathy is something we can teach. I mean, it's something we've taught our kids since they were really little. It's about how to communicate that deep love for people anybody because people don't know they're not alone. I feel like there's a lot of new interesting information out there about empathy not being a good thing, about that, there's an argument with Travis is in struggle. And I practice empathy with you. I'm taking on your darkness, and it leads to burnout, and it leads to, but empathy is not feeling for somebody. It's feeling with them. It's touching a place in me that knows where you've been, so I can look at you and say, me too, brother. You're not alone in this. And I find empathy to be infinite. I think it gives back tenfold what you put out.
It's sustaining, like if you've done the work and you have your boundaries, I mean, you could tread that water forever and never get tired.
Okay, so empathy. I'm quoting Travis here, empathy. If you've done your work and set your boundaries, you can tread that water forever. Amen. It's not finite. And it keeps giving back to us. And so this idea but here we go back to where we started this conversation. Empathy minus boundaries is not empathy. Compassion minus boundaries.
We haven't reached that other shore, and it's God forbid you're stung when you don't think you could be stung in all this armor. And Bonnie made a decision coming into that third morning that I was suffering, and I was hanging on by a thread, and she said, "Come here," and I came close to the boat, and she said, look out there, and I saw light, because the day is easier than the night, and I thought we were coming into day. And I saw a stream of white light along the horizon. And I said, "It's going to be morning soon." She said, "No, those are the lights of Key West."
Keep that tender heart. All the pain you take and make. It is not safe to walk these streets. Join your hands and sing with me. Raise our voices, hear our plea. Hear our plea. We are the daughters, we are the sisters who carry the water. We are the mothers too, we are each other. We are the elders, we are the fierce as fire, sleep is true. Never easily defined, now follow suit. In the world that's run, a proud and forced. Women of the world, we have a voice. We're here just to walk these streets. Gangs and tribes is hurt a beat. So when no one will bear me peace.
It's the fifth time I stand on this shore, the Cuban shore, looking out at that distant horizon, believing again that I'm going to make it all the way across that vast, dangerous wilderness of an ocean. Not only have I tried 4 times, but the greatest swimmers in the world have been trying since 1950. and has still never been done. The team is proud of our 4 attempts. It's an expedition of some 30 people. Bonnie is my best friend and head handler, who somehow summons will, that last drop of will within me when I think it's gone, after many, many hours and days out there. The shark experts are the best in the world, large predators below. Now the box jellyfish, the deadliest venom in all of the ocean, is in these waters, and I have come close to dying from them on a previous attempt. The conditions themselves, besides the sheer distance of over 100 miles in the open ocean, currents and whirling eddies, and the Gulf Stream itself, the most unpredictable of all of the planet Earth. And by the way, it's amusing to me that journalists and people, before these attempts often, ask me, well, are you going to go with any boats or any people or anything? And I'm thinking, what are they imagining? That I'll just sort of do some celestial navigation and, carry a bowie knife in my mouth, and I'll hunt fish and skin them alive and, eat them, and maybe drag a desalination plant behind me for fresh water. Yes, I have a team. And the team is expert. And the team is courageous and brimming with innovation and scientific discovery, as is true with any major expedition on the planet. And we've been on a journey. And the debate has raged, hasn't it, since the Greeks, of isn't it what it's all about? Isn't life about the journey, not really the destination? And here we've been on this journey, and the truth is it's been thrilling. We haven't reached that other shore, and still, our sense of pride and commitment, unwavering commitment. When I turned 60, the dream was still alive from having tried this in my 20s and dreamed it and imagined it. The most famous body of water on the earth today, I imagine. But it was deeper. It was how much life is there left? Let's face it, we're all on a one-way street, aren't we? And what are we going to do? What are we going to do as we go forward to have no regrets looking back? And all this past year in training, I had that Teddy Roosevelt quote, to paraphrase it, floating around in my brain, and it says, you go ahead. You go ahead and sit back in your comfortable chair, and you be the critic. You be the observer. While the brave one gets in the ring and engages and gets bloody and gets dirty and fails over and over and over again, but yet isn't afraid and isn't timid and lives life in a bold way. And so of course I want to make it across. It is the goal. And I should be so shallow to say that this year the destination was even sweeter than the journey. But the journey itself was worthwhile taking. And at this point, by this summer, everybody, scientists, sports scientists, endurance experts, neurologists, my own team, Bonnie, said it's impossible. It just simply can't be done. And Bonnie said to me, but if you're going to take the journey, I'm going to see you through to the end of it. So I'll be there. And now we're there. And as we're looking out, kind of a surreal moment before the first stroke, standing on the rocks at Marina Hemingway, the Cuban flag is flying above, all my team's out in their boats, hands up in the air. We're here. We're here for you. Bonnie and I look at each other and we say, this year the mantra is, and I've been using it in training, find a way. You have a dream. And you have obstacles in front of you, as we all do. None of us ever get through this life without heartache, without turmoil. And if you believe and you have faith, and you can get knocked down and get back up again, and you believe in perseverance, as a great human quality, you find your way. And Bonnie grabbed my shoulders and she said, let's find our way to Florida. And we started, and for the next 53 hours, it was an intense, unforgettable life experience. The highs were high, the awe. I'm not a religious person, but I tell you, to be in the azure blue of the Gulf Stream, as if as you're breathing, you were looking down miles and miles and miles, to feel the majesty of this blue planet we live on. It's awe-inspiring. I have a playlist of about 85 songs, and especially in the middle of the night, and that night, because we use no lights. Lights attract jellyfish, lights attract shark, lights attract bait fish that attract sharks. So we go in the pitch black of the night. You've never seen black, this black. You can't see the front of your hand, and the people on the boat, Bonnie and my team on the boat, they just hear the slapping of their arms, and they know where I am, because there's no visual at all. And I'm out there kind of tripping out on my little playlist. I've got tight rubber caps, I don't hear a thing. I've got goggles and I'm turning my head 50 times a minute. I'm singing, imagine there's no heaven. It's easier if you try. And I could sing that song 1,000 times in a row. Now there's a talent unto itself. And each time I get done with, you may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. 222. Imagine there's no heaven. And when I get to the end of 1,000, with John Lennon's Imagine, I had swum 9 hours and 45 minutes. Exactly. And then there are the crises. Of course there are. And the vomiting starts, the seawater, you're not well, you're wearing a jellyfish mask for the ultimate protection. It's difficult to swim in, it's causing abrasions on the inside of the mouth, but the tentacles can't get you. And the hypothermia sets in. The water's 85 degrees and yet you're losing weight and using calories. And as you come over toward the side of the boat, not allowed to touch it, not allowed to get out, but Bonnie and her...
The session has been cancelled. The videos will be played over here. The next session would be breaths of flows and pranayama. That is by Vijay Doshi. Should be arriving at by 3:50.
This is the second one I go to.
Team hands me nutrition and asks me what I'm doing, how am I all right? I am seeing the Taj Mahal over here. I'm in a very different state. And I'm thinking, wow, I never thought I'd be running into the Taj Mahal all out here. It's gorgeous. I mean, how long did it take them to build that? It's just And then we kind of have a cardinal rule that I'm never told really how far it is, because we don't know how far it is. What's going to happen to you between this point and that point? What's going to happen to the weather and the currents? And God forbid you're stung when you don't think you could be stung in all this armor. And Bonnie made a decision coming into that third morning that I was suffering and I was hanging on by a thread. And she said, come here. And I came close to the boat and she said, look out there. And I saw light, because the day is easier than the night, and I thought we were coming into day. And I saw a stream of white light along the horizon. And I said, it's going to be morning soon. She said, no. Those are the lights of Key West.
This one is a very fine situation.
It's the fifth time I stand on this shore the Cuban shore, looking out at that distant horizon, believing again that I'm going to make it all the way across that vast, dangerous wilderness in the ocean. Not only have I tried 4 times, but the greatest swimmers in the world have been trying since 1950.
My phone here.
And it's still never been
I
done.
will come back and.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
Our hands with henna on we had a was right there. Education. We had a thirst for education because our future was right there in that classroom.
Balik adik saya, kamu tak boleh kira. Ya nak, kamu yang mau baca nulis tu yang mana? Itu dia saya. Jangan masuk masuk. Tapi waktu tu, saya berusaha seru tu. Dia. Create करो प्रोफाइल क्रिएट करो बंद कर दीजिए तो समय चलो आपने भी लेकर आए कई मुझे तो सील पर अरे वीडियो चालू છે કયું ફિલ્મ કરવાનું શું હાથ બધું કટ થઈ જશે ભાઈ હા લાઈવ છે વસ્તુ બરાબર છે લાઈવ आई नहीं भैया कोई भी अभी जो इससे करते शिक्षण होंगे ना क्या कहूँ तुमसे प्यार हुआ कम्प्लीट आवाज में थी बीक लगी ओला राजस्थानी मारी
પેલા કયા એચડી બધા આઈપી વાળા હા તો હા હા અમુક પડે છે એ મનસુખને પૂછવું પડશે કેમ કે જો કાલે આઈસીઆઈમાં જવાન છે પછી ભરેલી હા હા એ તો બરાબર છે એન્કોડરની જરૂર તો નહીં પડવાની કેટલા છે અહીંયા આપણે જો એન્કોડર મને ખ્યાલ નથી એનો ઉપયોગ જ નથી થયો ભાઈ એટલે અત્યારે જો 5 વાગ્યા પછી છે ને અહીંયા 2 જ સેશન ચાલુ રહેવાના છે એટલે એ ટાઈમે એન્કોડરનું અહીંયા ટેસ્ટિંગ કરશું કે પ્રોપર કામ કરશે કે નહીં કરે એન્કોડર તો કામ કરે જ છે તો બરાબર એટલે સારું हाँ हाँ एक आरसीएच है ना બાકી નો વેબ પ્રોબ્લેમ આવે અહીંયા એકચ્યુઅલી કેટલા જો ને એક જગ્યાએ વેબ કેમ છે બીજી જગ્યાએ આરસીએ છે પછી હોલ નંબર 2 ની અંદર હોલ વાઇઝ પ્રોપર તો મને બી ખ્યાલ નથી એ મનસુખને જ ખ્યાલ હશે એ મનસુખ ક્યાં ગયો હે એ બીજા કોઈ હોલમાં ગયો છે એને જ કોલ કર ને હા ઓકે
2 3 4 13 અને પીકોક એ બધામાં એચડીએમઆઈ છે આપણે
કે
2 3 4 ને પીકોક
3 માં જ ને કે 3 જ એચડીએમઆઈ આપણે
એટલે 3 માં તો આરસીએ છે એટલે 2 4 પીકોક માં હશે તો 13 માં હશે 4 થઈ ગયા 3 સિવાય બી 4 એમાં એચડીએમઆઈ છે
Wait a minute, this is starting or haven't started yet? Why? No way. Okay.
फोन कर भूल जाए તને કોણ માણસમાં રાખવાની જરૂર તને ખબર પડે કેમ છેલ્લે હું થયું એમ તારે શું લઈ જવાનું કે
કોને કીધું ભુવનેશ્વર મોકલવાનું એનકોડ કયું
તો હવે આપણી એક જ રસ્તો છે
એચડી એનકોડ એ પણ જોવાનું
કુરિયર કરવાની તો હવે એક જ રસ્તો છે
ત્યાં કોણ છે
બસ નીચેમાં આરસી ઉપર પીકો કરો આરસી બે આરસી થઈ ગયા
હાલો પછી મેનેજ કેટલા કરવાના છે કેટલા જશે હવે જીવ લાગે છે હેપી ઓવર ઇમ્પોર્ટર વેચી લાગે હા બરાબર
લે ભાઈ
થેન્ક યુ
ફોટો પાડ ફોટો પાડ
હું હમણાં ફોટો પાડું નીકળું
બધે બધું
એક મારું છે બીજા મને ખબર
રમતા ન
હા કેટલા
હોલ 2 માં છે હોલ 4 માં છે અને નીચે 3 અને એક તાર 3 4
ત્યારે જ છે આપી વાળા
કેપ્ચર કાર
હા એજી કેપ્ચર કાર્ડ કેટલા છે
જો મારા એક તાર
આઈપી વાળા બે
એ લખી નાખો ને તમે
કાળા
કયા હોલમાં શું તો
બે કાળા નેક્સ્ટ ટી કેટલા પાંચ છે બે આઈપી વાળા બે કાળા એક સ્ટીલ કેટલા છે
આઈપી વાળા કે ગણસ તું બે આઈપી વાળા બે સ્ટીલ ના એક તારું કાઢું એક મારું કાઢું એમ તો 6 છે
બે સ્ટીલ ના છે
સ્ટીલ ના એટલા વગેરે જે વાપરેલું છે એવું કેપ્ચર
તો એનો લઈ ગયો ને કે બે ખાલી પડ્યા છે ને ત્યાં એમાં સમજો
આઈપી વાળા ખાલી પડ્યા હોલ 2 માં તો હોલ 3 માં તો આપણે આખી લેવી હોલ 4 માં સર્ચ કરીને પછી કેપ્ચર રાખો
જે સ્ટીલ છે કાળું એ લખી નાખો બ્લેક છે સ્ટીલ
સ્ટીલ બસ
સ્ટીલ એસટી
બરાબર છે
So अभी द ग्लोरी ऑफ प्राणायाम द ग्लोरी ऑफ ब्रीथ फ्लेक्स प्राणायाम बाय विजय जोशी वो 4 बजे शुरू होगा और मैम 3:55 को आ जाएंगे इस तरफ
एक कार्ड मैंने भैया को दिया था वो कह रहे थे कि एक कार्ड दे देना तो एक जो भर जाएगा वो दे देना वो फिर आपसे कॉपी होगी फिर वो आपके पास आ जाएगा
अभी हमारा सेशन है ना 4 बजे शुरू होगा
बस वही है कि प्रॉब्लम ना हो जाए
नहीं प्रॉब्लम वो मैं खुद जाके लेके आऊँगा लेकिन अभी मुझे अवार्ड पहुँचाना है
ये એક આઈપી વાળું મારે પૂછે કરવાનું છે.
હવે આમાંથી
એક આઈપી વાળું પૂછે કરવાનું.
દેખ
હવે આપણે એક વસ્તુ કીધું, જો તમારે આઈપી વાળું કન્ફિગર આજે કરી નાખો, એ ના થાય તો આને આશી કરવું.
સીલ કરવાનું.
જો
તો તેમાં શું મૂકશું?
તેરની અંદર આ અત્યારે મારું જેવું લઈ જાઉં તો અને આમાં પીકો પાડું છે 13 માં આવે, પીકો પાડું 13 માં જશે.
ના આઈપી વાળું પર આ હોલમાં હોલ 2 માં એમાં સ્ટેટિક આઈપી
હોલ 2 માં સ્ટેટિક આઈપી પણ આઈપી વાળા જરૂર જ નહીં પડે ને. પીકોમાં આરસીએ લઈ લઈએ તો શું જરૂર પડે? આ મારો ખાલી લોચા થાય આઈપી માં ખાલી કયા સેટિંગ્સ છે કયા આઈપી માં ખાલી લોચા થાય છે. એક જ વસ્તુ
આ કાઢીએ 13 માં.
હા એને ઉપર આવે 13 પીકો 13 આઈપી વાળા ડિવાઇસમાં આઈપી કમ્પ્લીટ થઈ ગયા. આની ક્વોલિટી કેવી છે? આરસીએ બસ તો નીચે આરસીએ માર્સ જે કેટલું તો લીધી છે એક રહી છે એક છે એક પાર્ટ લેવો છે હું લઈ લઈશ.
પાર્ટ તો ઇજેક્ટેબલ લઈ જવાનું.
હા એક લઈ જવું છે.
કેટલા છે ઈઝીઅર કેપ?
મારી પાસે 2 છે 18
ઈઝીઅર કેપ ની યુઝ કરે તો આઈસીએમ
લઈ જવું તો પડશે ને જોડે.
હા બેકઅપ માટે તો લેઝર ક્યાં છે?
લેઝર છે મારી પાસે બ્લેક.
વિડિયો વાળો ઓડિયો નહીં આવે. વિડિયો વાળો ઓડિયો લઈ લઈશું. આરસી આ તો અહીંયા મળવાનું જ છે ને. ડીઝલ એ વિડિયો લઈ લઈને ઓડિયો આપણું યુવીસી ચાઇના
મારી પાસે આપણે બાજુમાં
યુવીસી ચાઇના થી કરી દઈએ.
ઈ છે મારી પાસે.
એ લોકો બીજી લેપટોપ આપશે પીપીટી મેનેજ માટે?
પીપીટી માટે જોઈને પૂછી લે.
મારી થ્રુ નહીં આલે ને.
અચ્છા કાલ તું આવવાનો છે?
ક્યાં શું કરવા? 6 વાગે નીકળી જાય તો કેટલા વાગે?
સવારે 6 વાગે.
6 વાગે તો ટ્રેન છે. 5 વાગે 4 વાગે તું ઘરેથી નીકળી ગયો છે. 4 વાગે ઉઠી ગયો.
તું તો આવવાનો?
તારો ટાઈમ ઓછો છે
ના ઈ ના પહોંચે પછી બલ ટેસ્ટિંગ કરે.
હા 11 વાગે નીકળ્યો તો બી શું વાંધો?
બલ ટેસ્ટિંગ ની કરવું પડે. આ ત્યાં જે
કાલ હવારે ચાલુ થશે તો 2 થઈ તો જોશે ને.
હા તો કાલ કોઈ દિવસ બહાર આવજે ખાલી અહીંયા સ્ટાર્ટ કરાવીને પછી તો રહે.
પછી તું તાર
10 વાગે નીકળી જજે બધું
સ્ટાર્ટ કરાવે. સ્ટાર્ટમાં જ બધું સ્ટાર્ટિંગ ટાઈમ બધાનો એક આવે છે એટલે ત્યારે થોડું
પ્રોબ્લેમ થાય.
સ્ટાર્ટિંગમાં સ્ટાર્ટ કરવામાં થોડો પ્રોબ્લેમ થાય કારણ કે સ્ટાર્ટિંગ બધા એક આવે થાય એટલે બે જણા પૂરા નહીં પડે.
તો ટાઈમિંગ સેટ કરી દેવાનો ને.
જે કે છે તમે કહો છો
કેટલા એક્ઝેક્ટ કેટલા વાગે ચાલુ?
21 હોય પેલો 8 થઈ જશે.
8:15
જે પણ હોય કરે છે.
કેટલા કાઢ્યા?
લાઈટ થઈ જ જાય.
આપણે અહીંયા એક્સેસ લઈ લઈશું બધાના ડાયરેક્ટ દે દે.
હું કઈ સમજ નહીં રહેવા
એક્સેસ લેવાનો અમે મેન્યુઅલી
એમ જ કરવાનું છે કાલે
તો એક્સેસ લે છે અમે બંને
પ્રોફાઇલ તો અત્યારે બનાવી દઈએ ખાલી પીકો બીજું કંઈ ખરું ને પીકો કોલમ છે ને એનું ખાલી સવાર બનાવશું આવી બાકી બધી પ્રોફાઇલ બનાવી દઈએ.
આજે પીકો એકનું જ છે
ના અને 2 નંબર
2 ને પીકો
2 નંબર ઈ બે તો સારું જ રહે રોજ
11 વાગે અહીંયા કરે
ફોન પીકોમાં 2 કલાક વધારે ઓલા આમાં 2 નંબરમાં 2 કલાક વધારે હોય. આ બધા પૂરા થાય પછી પીકોમાં 8 વાગે પૂરું થાય.
એમ નહીં
કોને મિસ કોલ કેટલા વાગે?
હમણાં કે 2 કે 4 માં ડીજે કરતા હતા બધા.
હવે તમે શું કરવાનું છે? હું વર્જિન જાગીને કહી દઉં
એ શું કહે
આરસીએ કરવાનું છે કે
એટલે એમ કહી દે ને કે એક એજ્રીમ પૂરા એન્ડ પૂરા કન્ફિગ થઈ જશે.
નહીં તો ના થાય તો RCA કરી નાખજો. ના
પ્રોબ્લેમ
થાય
શું છે?
તો ના થાય તો RCA કરી નાખજો. બરાબર
વિડિયો ઇન્ટ્રોનો પ્રોબ્લેમ આવ્યો છે.
સ્ટીલ વાળા બે છે ને?
ઇન્ટરનેટ કનેક્ટ થઈ ગયું છે.
સ્ટીલ વાળા બે છે ને?
મારે થઈ ગયું
ઓલા
તો
માં
બે
આવે
આવે
છે
છે
ને ફોન.
હાલો પેલા તમે જોજે.
હા એવું તો 6 થાય છે
એમ નથી કે
યુટ્યુબમાં યુટ્યુબ પ્રોફાઇલ ક્રિએટ કરીને કરવાની છે.
જો બે આઈપી વાળા
નો ડેટા નથી આવતું મારે.
બે સ્ટીલ છે અને બે ઓલા બ્લેક છે.
ઇનપુટ વિડિયો
બધા બે છે.
9 1980 થી
હા એમાં
configure કરીને
બ્લેક છે.
એ છે ને જે ઇનપુટ વિડિયો એ ઓપ્ટિમલ નથી રહેતો.
બે સ્ટીલ બે બ્લેક
Resolution છે optimal.
ને બે
ફોટો સિલેક્ટ કરી વ્યૂ વાળા એ લોકો ડિલીટ માર દેજો
તો પેલા લઈ લે ભાઈ
લઈ લે ભાઈ સિરિયલ ડિલીટ માર દે.
મને સિરિયસલી થાય
યાર સિરિયસલી મસ્ત ફોટો આવે.
અહીંયા આપણે
એને પાડ્યો પાડે
ભલે
એને મારે પણ
ભાભી બોલવાના છે.
અત્યારે એક કરી લે
કઈ ના મારે યાર સિરિયસલી સોરી
આ કે નહીં લેવો નહીં લેવો
આમ કરે છે આમ સોરી ઈ તો પછી હાથ પકડીને આમ મૂકી દે એમ છે આ બધાને એવું ન હોય કે એ હાથ પકડવા
આ તો જો જબરદસ્ત મને આમાં મિક્સ પેજ ઉપર ચડાવવા પડશે મારા
હા ચડાવ જાય બધા
જબરદસ્ત સ્ટેટસ મૂકવું પડશે જલ્દી હું એપિકોક મેં કરી આરસી
આ બધા મને
બસ સાલા મારો એક ફોટો નથી
તારો ફોટો
વુમન ઉભી
હા હું એ વિચારતો મેં કે કઈ નહીં પાવે મનસુખ પડાવે એ પણ એ ખબર યાર એ તો ત્યાં ગયો જ એટલા માટે પડાવે
હું અહીં આવતો બરોબર
મને લઈ આવતા
ચા કોફી પીએ
એ હા યાર એ ને પીવા
તું આરસી ચેક કરજે પિક્ચરમાં ખબર કાલ ના પાડી દીધું ભાઈ આરસી નહીં મળે
અને પેલા કન્ફર્મ કરી લઈએ
અહીંયા નથી પીધું પીઆર એટલે અહીંયા મિસ
તો
કરે
એવું જ માનતા હોય છે એમાં કે હશે નહીં
અહીંયા ચા પીવા જઈએ એવું છે એટલે તો
ગોળી
ચા
મોડી
થઈ
થઈ જાય હમણાં એક બોલું મને બોલે યુ કેન અન્ડરસ્ટેન્ડ ઇંગ્લિશ વિથ યા તો કે ભાઈ બોલાને કે આને સમજાવવાનું કે મારે થોડી કોફી જોઈએ થોડું જ થોડું જોઈએ બોલો વધારે કોફી અને મિલ્ક પેલા મિલ્ક નાખે કે મારે મિલ્ક ઓછું જોઈએ થોડુંક જોઈએ ને કોફી થોડી જોઈએ બોલો મિલ્ક વધારે દેતો હતો
મિલ્ક તો જે જેની જોડે
બ્લેક બ્યુટી મનસુખ નહોતું મનસુખ કે આપણે બધે ખાવા
વચ્ચે બીજા ધરાઈ જશે
બોલી જોઈ
ઓસમ હતી
કાલ બી જરૂર કરી રહી હતી એની આંખો આમ પાપડ
બબીતા જોઈ
એકાદ મસ્ત ભાષણ આપ્યું હતું રાતે સર્વાઈવલ વાળું યુ આર
બધા જઈ ગયા લાગે.
વી આર સર્વાઈવલ
દોડ્યો ડાન્સ તો તરત જ ખાલી આમ
પગ પસાર અરે પગ નહીં ઘડી ગયો નીચે એક હજાર પગ પસાર મ્યુઝિક એવું જ લાગે નહીં છોકરા આમ કરે ભાઈ એક
જુનિયર કીધી છોકરો આમ કરે
બાર આમ કીધું આમ દેખી કે એક વાર કે 10 11 વાગે ડાન્સ આવશે 11 વાગે ઠેકડા જ મારે કઈ છોકરા છોકરી આવી ગયા 8 10 અને ખાલી એક પગ આમ કરે એક પગ આમ કરે ભાઈ આમ કરે આમ કરે આમ કરે આમ નીકળ આમ ઉધે બધા શૂટિંગ ઉતારે બધા એ પછી
ડોસી આમ કરો
એ પછી ઉર્દુમાં પાછું ભાઈ હમણાં સમજાય તો નહીં
જુનિયર કેજી છોકરા ઓકે
જોવું ને નીકળ્યા
ઘણી વાર બધી એ ને શૂટિંગ ઉતાર્યું પછી એ તો પૂરું જ ના થાય પછી થાકે બધા જતા રહી
હા રાખજે આ જોઈને
હું તો મનસુખનો મોકલું
હવે ફોટો આવી ગયો મારી જોડે
કેમ ફોન
ફોટા પાડ્યો તો ફોન
થતા કે પછી
ના કતો કે બેહવા દેવા
ભલે કેન્સલ થયા સ્પીકર મુંજાઈ ગયો
હજી તો 21 તારીખ આવશે કાગડા ઉગતા હશે 21 તારીખ
આ જોરમાં હમણાં સવારમાં તો કોઈ સ્પીકર હોત ને તો ઓડિયન્સ
ઘણા ગાડી બોલાવી દીધી હાલે બધી જગ્યાએ બધા પકડાવે ટી બ્લેકમાં બ્રેક નહીં કાકાનો ફર્સ્ટ ડે પણ સ્ટેમિના વધારે હોય ને કાકાથી તો 1:30 વાગે જમી કરીને ચાલુ કર્યું
લોકો ક્યાંય જવા નથી બધા અમદાવાદ ભેગા થવાના 200 જણા અમદાવાદ 200 જણા રાંચી 200 જણા બેંગ્લોર અઠવાડિયું ફ્રી ટૂર છે એક લોકો અહીંથી સ્પોન્સર
તમે અમદાવાદ કઈ રાય યુનિવર્સિટી
હા રાય યુનિવર્સિટી
કઈ રીતે એમાં
અહીંથી 200 જણાને લઈ જવાના અમારા પ્લેનમાં એટલે એ લોકો પ્લેનમાં આવશે અમે ટ્રેનમાં પછી એ લોકોને રિસીવ કરવા છે જવાનું ને એરપોર્ટ ઉપર
હા
તો તમે સે યુનિવર્સિટી થ્રુ
કામ કરાવ લઈએ ત્યાંથી આવડો કામ કરવા હવે માણસો નથી
મેનેજમેન્ટ ના સ્ટુડન્ટ લાગે
સ્ટુડન્ટ નહીં ફેકલ્ટી
હા સોરી
એક કરી દીધું પછી
હા
સ્ટુડન્ટ
સ્ટુડન્ટ જેવું લાગે
હા એ ફોટો હાલો પાછા હાલો
સરખી સેટ કરે તેલ આપ્યું નથી ને
આ તો
મારા
બે મિનિટ રોકાવાનું કહેવાય કે
જતી રહ્યું
હું મોતી આવે
તો
સમય પેક છે હજી તો બસ રેડી કરો સામાન તો આપણે બધા ચાલુ સફળ થઈ ગયો
એપિટોમ તારલામ નાખી દે એપિટોમ ને
આપણે છે ને કાલથી આખું આ સેટઅપ ત્યાં લેવાનું છે વ્હાઇટ બોર્ડ છે ને ત્યાં
વાંધો નહીં
એટલે કેમેરો અને તમારો લેપટોપ
હા વાંધો
આવી જશે ને
આવી જશે આપણે જ છે
કાલે 7 વાગ્યામાં 7 વાગ્યા સેશન
તો જો તો ઘરે આપણે રાત ક્યાં કાઢવાનું ની ગર્લફ્રેન્ડ
એવું કઈ ન હોય
હા ભાઈ આવ્યા જ નહીં બ્રિજલ દોષી તો મને શું કરે
મોહિત જેના કે છે ને તો મોહિત કે બધે ટેન્ડર પીટાઈ નાખશે જોરા સમજાની જાનશે કલાકમાં ચાવણ ખબર પડી મોબાઈલ લઈ જવાનો નથી
આમાં મોહિત નથી ને સારું
પણ આ તો ભાઈ કોક કહી દે આપણે જો કે આપણા બધા આપણા ટીમના છે ને એની
હા
લઈને આવો બીજું હું થાય
એ લાગી ન કરી
ઉઠી નાચો
હવે હમણાંથી ઉઠાને છે
હમણાં 4 વાગે છે
કેવાય
હમણાં 4 વાગે કેટલું નથી જી ફોટોન સકો એ બોલો
પગડી તેમ ત્રાટી દીધી આ
સેશન નંબર કોલ
આ કે તો ઓલો ગમે મને
લેવા જાય
ભાઈ મને જેન્જરથી આપ
કાંઈ આપતો નહીં હો ભાઈ હમણાં આપવાના નથી હું કહું પછી જ આપીશ
કોણ જીવ પ્લેસ
હમણાં નહીં ભાઈ જવા દો
તમારે ફોટો આવી રીતે લખાય બિફોર અને આફ્ટર બિફોર મેરેજ આફ્ટર મેરેજ આપણે સુપર આને ફોટા મૂકી દેવા જેવા છે ઉપર નીચે
ખતરનાક
બિફોર આફ્ટર
હા બિફોર આફ્ટર
આફ્ટર સેલ્ફી ઇન ગઈ
રિએક્શન ઓફ સેલ્ફી
રિએક્શન આમ સમજો મને
આકે સમજ આવી સ્ટાઇલ છે
અરે
એક બાર દેજે
સ્ટાઇલ ઓફ મનસુખ
આપણે વારે વારે ક્લિક કરીને જોઈ જાવ એ ભાઈ વોશરૂમ નહીં જતો
હાલ જઈને આવીએ આપણે
ના ના આને ઉપર તો
ગુલામ કર આમાં ચાલુ
જો જાય રોડ પર અત્યારે નવું સેટઅપ અડધો કલાકનો ટાઈમ છે ત્યાં આપ્યો
કે અહીંયા
હા
અહીંયા
હા
ને સેટઅપ કરવું મન છું
ઓર કેબલ નહીં આવે ને
કયો આ લેન કેબલ
અડધી કલાકનો ટાઈમ છે
આવી જશે લેન કેબલ જો આમથી આમ કરી
તો કેમેરો ક્યાં રાખવાનો
કેમેરા
લેન કેબલ અહીંથી જ આવે છે
વ્હાઇટ બોર્ડ છે ત્યાં બધું
લેન કેબલ અહીંથી જ આવે છે આમથી આમ
કેમેરા બોલાય થઈ જશે એ તો
થઈ જશે આપણે તો ખાલી
હા તમે કના કો સેટઅપ તો બરાબર
ટેબલ
કેમેરા બોલો
અચ્છા કુર્સી ઉપર
બોલો
કેમેરો
રૂમ નંબર 3 કેમેરામેન
એક કામ કરો રહેવા દેવું
કાલે જ કરશું
કાલે જ કરજો કેમેરામેન મળશે ને ત્યાં સુધી 4 વાગી જાય
મેળાને બતાવીને
જે કેબલ આપણો વાપરવાનો એટલા છે કેબલ એ નવા લેવા જવા પડશે
ક્યાં એકલા એકલા
કેટલા આપણે સેટ કરવાનું? તો પણ બીજા કોઈ બીજા આરસીએમ
એકેમાં નહીં આવવા
ઓકે કેમેરામાં એ સિસ્ટમ
જો મને છૂટી મળે
આમાં એવું મળે એમ નથી
મને મળી ગઈ છે મારે જ ગોતી નથી
કમાઈ પડી ગયેલ
તમે કોઈનો જીવ ના પાડશો હાથ કાઢી દેતા હાથ હેલ્થી વાળો હેલ્થી વાળો
પેલા મૂત્ર વાંચી તમારો
All ladies leave. No, the hours and ladies, no? But the
बस तो ये इसका तो दुकान करना ये फ्रीजर पर वो तो ना
હું મેમરી કાર્ડ લઈ આવું.
ચલો ને મેમરી કાર્ડ શેના માટે જોઈએ?
क्या?
Why do you need memory?
For recording.
मेरे नसीब अच्छे हैं, फोटोग्राफर आ गए। सब में फोटोग्राफर नहीं होते ना? वो जाता है डिलीट करके डिलीटेड आइटम में भी होता है नोटिस someone asked for it so you will give me another presentation.
It's like personalized thing.
Yeah.
So we can't.
The other one, no, created a whole image.
Okay.
That one.
Okay, so this one, you got 6 minutes.
This is the one अभी.
Okay, अभी का है और बात.
ये राइट वो सुबह हो गया कल ही हो गया अभी मेरा आज ये लास्ट है.
Okay.
Just delete it afterwards, okay?
Absolutely, ma'am. Trust on us. This is the largest session room we have. We have two audience.
Just tell someone to clear the cups, no? Someone's phone is ringing.
Yeah.
To clear the cups.
Absolutely. I told you so. Don't remember. Don't worry, ma'am. They will come. They will come. They will come. Don't worry. Okay.
But just now, afternoon में लोग अपनी भागाओं से आते हैं, दूसरे लोगों को मिलने जाते हैं, करते हैं बेचारे डेली वालों को। दूर से आए हैं।
Check. 1, 2, 3. Hello. Yes. Hello.
Baby girl. I'm very good. How are you? Very well. You too.
Hello.
Hi, किसी का फोन बज रहा है।
बस
सारे मोड पे कर देते हैं उनको रिस्पॉन्स
एक्चुअली अलार्म
अलार्म भी ऑफ कर दो बाद में बजेगा सेशन ऑफ कर दो ऐसा
आपको बट किसी
आपका फोन ये किसका फोन है
हाँ
ये कब का फोन बज रहा था अलार्म कुछ था दिन का भी ले लो
आपके घर है ना नहीं वो तो कोई बात नहीं
अभी इसके अंदर डेटा है क्योंकि बोले कि 15 मिनट लगेगा ट्रांसफ़र करने में। अभी इसमें जो है वो रखा है उसने अच्छा ये बोला कि अभी ये लास्ट सेशन फिर वो बोला कि मैं सब कॉपी करके पूरा कार्ड फॉर्मेट कर
मुझे कार्ड एक्स्ट्रा है उनके पास मेरा बचपन किसी का आप लेके गए थे ना लेके गए थे
ये कार्ड में लेके गया था नेट से
तो आप वो रिटर्न नहीं लेके आए
नहीं है नहीं ना इसके अंदर कार्ड
नहीं
देवर्सी सर
किसी को जीपे
Okay, thank you.
नहीं वैसे तो 16 GB एक्स्ट्रा है
If you have friend circle, you can just call us.
Sorry?
अदरवाइज 16 GB
Oh, you
कार्ड है मेरे पास
missing an audience, so we.
So as soon as they can come, they will go both on.
ચૂંટલા હાથમાં લઈને ફરે આવડી ચૂંટલા હાથમાં આપણે ઇન્ડિયામાં ગઈ ને એ પ્રાણાયામ વાળી ચંપલા ટૂટલા હાથમાં લઈને ફરે દેશી પાપાઈ
जी
ये कौन सा ना
NX3 है शायद
नहीं 5 है
5 है
कल है ना सुबह में ये दोनों सेटअप वहाँ पर लाइट्स ओके
बड़ा है तुम्हारा मेरे में आते 8-10 बंदे हैं
इसी को घुमा कर मैं जाऊँगा
मेरी ड्यूटी है
तू पंडे तू कब फ्री हो तू कब फ्री हो
5 बजे
पंडित जी पता कब फ्री हो
9 बजे
अब कौन बता रहा
कभी पंडित जी 9 बजे मेरी मीटिंग चालू हुई
I get outside, sitting on the grass, doing some.
कैसा हो गया चप्पल
So it doesn't look as if and then it's a bit overwhelming. Maximum 5 like last year. You didn't go up? No. Maximum 5. It had packed houses. In my Togosh talks last year, there were 160 people. And there was the media, there were people standing. You can't have 12 at a time. In the morning, they were all just running from one to the other saying, oh, you know, also, there are so many
Thank you.
थोड़ी पब्लिक आते हैं उसके बाद 2-3 लोग तो आते थे अभी ऐसा नहीं
eyes. Look at the colors, shadowy movements, darkness, light, whatever you see there. And then taper your awareness to the eyebrow center. To visualize a candle flame there. Gently bring awareness down from the eyebrow center to the two nostrils. Consciously take awareness of cool air going into the nostrils and warm air coming out. Be very focused with awareness on the area between the upper lip and the nostrils. This technique is called Anapan or Swallow Yoga. Make sure you don't lose awareness on a single breath. Now take awareness on the whole body. Spread the awareness from the nostrils to the whole body, Head to toes, toes to head. Equal weight on both feet, spine upright, shoulders braced back. Then take awareness on your palms. Lift the hands a little up for a round of palming. Tap them on closed eyes and open and close your eyes in darkness. And then slowly bring the hands down and open the eyes. Okay, so then let's start. Let's start with the presentation first because it will be a little while before the wire comes, 3-4 minutes. Yeah? The topic for today is breaths of glory. I call it breaths of glory because from the moment we are born, the problems, pressures and stresses of daily life keep on making our breath yo-yoing all the time. We are always noticing that when there is anger, there is jealousy, there is envy, there is happiness, there is grief, immediately the breath changes. And in yoga they say that the lifespan of a person is always decided on the number of breaths he's going to take, never the age. So the longer the breaths, the more one lives. And that's the reason why hot-blooded animals and birds like the dog, the pigeon, etc. live relatively much lesser, 5 to 15 years, compared to mammals and reptiles who live 100 and 125 years. And human beings are generally yo-yoing between the two. Yoga, breaths of glory, is an ideal form of exercise for which we don't have to be physically fit or spiritually inclined. Pilates, a very famous yoga, you heard of Pilates, can say that said that we neither have yoga can never be achieved. Physical fitness can never be achieved by wishful thinking nor by outright purchase. There are totally 84 lakh yoga postures which one can practice to address each and every muscle, tendon, nerve, etc. of the body. And yoga, when breathing correctly, restores the mind-body to its fundamental state of well-being. Why does it say back to the fundamental state? Because when we were born, we were extremely flexible. We could put our toes in our mouth, but later on things changed. The problems and pressures of daily life got us more unbending. Yeah. Breathing right, breaths of glory, purifies and cleanses every muscle, joint, organ and part of the body. including the skin, which is a reflection of our internal growth. Yoga, by gently stretching our muscles and joints, ensures optimal blood supply, and that's the reason why there is freshness. We often underestimate the workout on the face, but it's only on the face. When one notices the face, that one passes a comment like, you're well slept, you're not well slept, have you come from a holiday, you're looking kind of tired today. So it is very important that we give a lot of importance to the uncovered areas as much as we do to the covered. Tibetan drives, which are 5 asanas, 5 postures in yoga, are known to be activating the 7 chakras, which are connected with the 7 ductless glands, each one addressing the endocrine system. Health is a state of complete physical, mental and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity is the definition given for good health by the World Health Organization. Stretching and twisting strengthens the different tendons and ligaments of the body, provided we breathe right. One of the most important benefits of the breaths of glory, which we are just going to be coming to now, is that it has this uncanny awareness for any impending health disease that we may be heading for. Like we often say, I'm heading for a migraine or the fever or the flu. So it helps the enabler to take some preemptive actions. There are 84 lakh postures in all to address each and every nerve, tendon and ligament, bone and muscle. We're going to quickly run through ourselves because this is more a breaths of glory session. Tadasana, which is an upright posture having several benefits like reversing problems of drooping shoulders, postural deformities, etc. Utkatasana, strengthening the thighs, the core, strengthening the knees and hip, shoulder joints. Virabhadrasana, which they call the warrior in the West, improving stamina, toning abdominal muscles and pelvic organs. Often a lot of postures are from copying the animals, like downward dog. They say, you know, the very popular posture, downward dog, and you push on the muscle. This is the cobra, Bhujangasana. A triangular pose again to strengthen for a well-sculpted body from a base and improve stamina and balance. An ultimate stretch. Uttanasana comes from a combination of 2 words, Utta plus Tan, to tone the gonets, which is again to work on the reproductive, genital reproductive organs. More postures to copy the animals. Similar benefits, which is the Parsvakonasana. This one is a very important posture, Garudasana, again a copy of a bird, working on addressing each and every joint, from the toe joints to the ankles to the knees to the entire vertebral column to elbows. It's basically to address and reverse problems of the core. The bones, osteoporosis, osteopenia, arthritis, rheumatism, etc. Similar kind of benefits, but each one has their own additional benefits. If you talk of all the 84 lakh postures, one can write a thesis on each and every posture. This one strengthens the core and is a very important posture for reversing back problems. It's called Naukasana. Inner thigh stretches are extremely important. Give a lot of importance to inner thigh stretches because we want to reverse all tight cross-legged positions and body imbalances, damages that have been caused. This too, for toning the spine, Supta Virasana. This one addresses the entire endocrine system, all the 7 glands, because it addresses right from the Muladhara chakra all the way up to the Sahasrara chakra. The word Pavanmuktasana literally means expulsion of stagnant air from the body. It's the stagnant air that creates a lot of havoc, from migraines to back problems to sciatica, etc. So this is a very, very important posture, and breathing right in this is extremely important too. Inner thigh stretches. Flushing blood downwards towards the head because we are often in standing postures. Rasarika Padottanasana is also for genital urinary problems, and again flushing blood upwards. This is called the bridge pose to strengthen the spine and the core. Bhujangasana, the cobra, again for the spine and uterine problems. It also reverses wrinkles in the neck. Similar, again, you want to now concentrate on breath. The camel pose, again, another word to copy an animal, is one of the 5 Tibetan rites. One has to breathe right in this, which we will be getting to now. The bow pose, Dhanurasana, tones the spine. Look at the stretch, look at the extension in the shoulders, reverses slouchy shoulders, postural deformities, works on each and every joint up there. Twist, the previous one please. Twists are extremely important in yoga postures. I often call my classes yoga with a twist because from sun salutations, which is Surya Namaskar on, to any gymming, swimming, personal training, weight training that we may be doing, everything involves a straight lines, walking, running, walking on the treadmill, the elliptical. So there are, out of 84 lakh postures, it is said, there are at least 30 to 40 lakh postures which involve a twist. And twists are extremely important, especially for the pancreas and gallbladder. Most of the dorsal spine and the upper sacral, that's the lumbar spine. Janu is knee, the loved one. They call it Janu. Shilasana, the head towards the knee. Paschim Uttanasana, they say Uttan means Uttam Tan, an ultimate stretch towards the west. They say that you can never keep your feet towards a rising sun, and yoga is supposed to be done in the mornings, and that's the reason why I face the west. Paschim means the west. And then you relax in Shavasana. You can move on from these here. Now, here you pause. Now we come to breaths of glory. There are only 2 very important rules of breathing in yoga postures. Whichever posture you may be doing, whatever you may be doing. There are 2 rules. One is, every time you go down towards the gravitational pull, you exhale. Every time you're coming up from the gravitational pull, you inhale. Alright? Every time you move away from the center, you exhale. Every time you come towards the center, you inhale. And every time you're holding a posture like this one, you breathe normally, which means inhale, upper body is going away from the gravitational pull. Exhale, upper body is going towards the gravitational pull. Exhale, you're twisting, so you're going away from the center. Inhale. You're holding a posture, any posture, be it any posture. Keep breathing normally. This one or maybe this one. Hold the posture, breathe normally. Alright? No rocket science about breaths of glory. Breathe right. No rocket science. Every time we move away from the center, we. Every time we come towards the center, we. Every time we go off from the gravitational pull, we. And every time we go towards, we. Towards, we. 4. All yogis. Human beings are the only species on the face of this earth who taste everything that's laid on a buffet table. Try with a pet to give 4 different things. He's going to have only one. And that is what creates a real havoc in our systems and organs. Stick to mono diets or try to make the minimum combinations as minimum as possible. The topic for today, Breaths of Glory. The universe and our body, human body, is made up of 5 vital organs, which is the next one. Sky, fire, air, earth, water, what we call Akash, Agni, Vayu, Prithvi, Jal. Vayu, which is the wind element, is extremely important. And the next one. The practice of pranayama, the topic for today. Prana and ayam is a combination of 2 words. Ayam means expansion and extension. Prana, again a combination of 2 words. Pra meaning that vital energy, and na means required for life. Okay? So together, next. Prana is vital energy or life force. So together it means that vital energy which is required for extension and expansion of our breath. Thus, combined pranayama means an extension of life force or expansion of the dimension of vital energy. We can refer to books, yes, we can see CDs, DVDs, videos, but eventually, at the end of the day, it is extremely important to keep ourselves as our own gurus. No other teacher, no guru, no dietitian, no Ayurveda specialist can really decide for us how many liters of water we should be having daily, how much milk we should be having daily, at what time, what quantity, how big the bowl should be or how small the because each day is different. Sticking to the biological clock where eating is concerned and where sleeping is concerned is extremely important, and therefore we are our own gurus. The 8 steps of Ashtanga Yoga are Yam, Niyam, Asana, Pranayam, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. So Yama, which is non-violent, Satya, Asteya, Aparijana, Ahimsa. Niyam, which is Samjya, Santosha, Swadhyay, Ishwar, Pranitana, and Tapas. Asana, steady poses. We just looked into Pranayam. And then Pratyaha, which is a sense withdrawal. Moving on to Dharana, concentration, Dhyan, meditation, Samadhi, has its own several definitions. Each one of us has a different one. Even what we're going to do in the end, dancing to a power yoga is Samadhi. Going to a pottery class, even cleaning our cupboard for some of us to enjoy it is meditation. Meditation is a word which comes from 2 words, Medha and Meditari. Medha means to dwell upon. Medha is a Sanskrit word. And Meditari is a Greek word meaning with wisdom. So to dwell upon anything with wisdom, be it Buddhist chanting, be it aromatherapy, be it anything, as far as the mind is kept off scattered thoughts and patterns, is meditation. Patanjali Ji gave these 3 quotes in the Yoga Sutras. The first 3, there are many more. Athayog Anushasanam, he explained 2600 years back. Now, here and now, I again re-explain the discipline of yoga. Yogascha chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga is that which reduces the oscillations of the mind field because of the senses. Tadadrashu swarupe avasthanam. Then and only then will the seer and the seeker finally come to his own pure original divinity. Every time we inhale, it's called a pura. Every time we exhale, it's called a reja. The components of pranayama and breathing right are from the clavicles and the collarbones all the way down to the diaphragm, including the rib cage. There is antar kumbhak, which is retention of an inhalation, bahir kumbhak, which is a retention of an exhalation. Kapala means forehead, Bhati means light and illumination. This is how it goes. That's a very important technique for detoxifying. Let's all do it just 11 times. Active exhalations, passive inhalations. Don't cross your legs. Sit comfortably. Place your right palm on the abdomen, left palm on the chest, and just breathe. Exhale actively. Inhale passively. only 11 rounds. Followed by the bellows breath. I don't know whether you heard of the bellows breath, Bhastrika, which is active inhalations and active exhalations, reverses problems of asthma, bronchitis, irregular breathing disorders, etc. Brings the breath back to normal and slows the breath down, so that original principle of extending one's lifespan works here. Ujjayi comes from the word Ujjapi, which is a Sanskrit, a Marathi word, which means triumphant or victorious. On top, the best. Why is this so? Because Ujjayi is a breath which one can do 24 hours. Wakeful hours, sleeping hours. It comes from the throat breath. If we open our mouth wide and close it, and inhale, close the mouth and exhale. And then rub the inhaled and exhaled air from the throat. Every time we inhale and exhale, we contract the glottis, the epiglottis area. Purifies the voice. You know, we want to clear our throat when we want to say a hello or talk on the phone. Reverses fears and insecurities connected with finances and relationships, it is said, because it activates the Vishuddhi chakra, the throat chakra. Purifies and purifies the voice, removes phlegm and mucus from the throat. Continuously, I often give this homework on a Friday class till we meet on a Monday, to continuously try doing Ujjayi breath. It has several benefits. Nadi Shodhan Pranayam, Nadi means channels of energy, Shodhan means cleansing, is alternate nostril breathing. You inhale from the left, you exhale from the right, you inhale from the right, you exhale from the left. So this is how it goes. Let's all do it just for one round. And finally comes Brahmani Pranayam. It's the humming bee sound, reverses problems of insomnia, depressive anxieties, panic attacks, sleep problems. And that feeling like, yes, I slept for 8 hours, but I don't sleep, I feel I slept well. Also reverses problems of ringing in the ears, tinnitus, alright? This is how it is done. You inhale fully, plug your ears closed, and make a humming sound exhaling. Jump all this because otherwise it gets into too many details, and we want to give the panelists a chance. This is the Shodhan Kriya, the cleansers. I already covered this about the word meditation, what it is. Yoga combined with meditation, coupled with meditation, reconnects us to our inner selves. Actually, you know, the morning are the 1 hour sessions. And now we have panelists, so we must give them also a chance for interaction. Plus, I wanted to wind up with a power yoga dance. But yes, we do it a little. Can you go back 6 slides? That's it. The next one. No, the next. Meditation is awareness and a cessation of the thought process, a state of consciousness when the mind is free. This I did cover earlier in my talk. Yoga basically means breaths of glory, means being aware of each and every breath. For those of you who've heard of Vipassana, it just starts with watching the breath, because awareness brings about the change. The first 3 days is only about awareness. Consciously taking awareness of cool air going into the nostrils and warm air coming out. Now this is entirely about sleep, so 28 slides, that's it. Yeah. Can you go to the main one so that I can wrap up? Good job. No, still lower. This is still on sleep. I see disorders, dreams, nightmares. This is Ayurveda. The previous one. The next one. So if wealth is the secret to happiness, then the rich should be dancing on the streets, but only the poor kids do. If power ensures securities, then officials should walk unguarded. If beauty and fame bring ideal relationships, then celebrities should have the best marriages. But that doesn't happen because simplicity leads the world. Those who live simply sleep soundly only because they breathe right. Okay, then no problem. We don't need to see this on the screen. You can take it on your thing. It's a 3-minute thing, just 3 minutes. Okay. Okay. This is mine? So you don't need to see this on this. You cannot put this on this screen. All right.
We don't have that connector.
No problem. They'll see me.
Yeah, absolutely. That will be one of the fine.
We rock it. We're going to dance and then open it to the panelists and for a question answer session. Come. What do we have planned? I'm so glad you saw the asanas actually before this guy. This is a Breaths of Glory workshop, so make sure you're listening to the breath. I want you to cover this well because Harveen had sent Dr. Harveen to, everyone come to us.
Shining in the sand, sound like a brother.
Just copy me.
The ocean, come and feel me. Oh, feel me. Shining in the sand, sound like a brother on the ocean, come and heal me.
जूम करके सबका आना चाहिए ज़्यादा जूम करूँगा हाँ तो मतलब कोई भी नहीं आएगा हाँ तो लाइक मूविंग कैमरा लाइक मूवी रखना बस इतना चलेगा मूविंग रखना थोड़ा सबका पार्ट आना चाहिए या
You getting it? You getting it on the video?
उनको मत रेकॉर्ड करना बाकी का रेकॉर्ड कराना ठीक है वो चीज़ देख रहा हूँ उनका लेना चाहिए कैमरा
Is an asana. Alright, now let's turn and do it because now it comes to sun salutation. Surya Namaskar. Okay. So all of you turn and do it. I do it. Come. Can you do it? Can you see? Get it? Yeah. Come. Turn. Madhu, come. No, I'll face you. I'll do mirror image half the time.
Thinking about the love we make and love for sure. Come and feel me. Oh, feel me. Shining in the sand, sound like a pearl upon the ocean. Come and feel me. Come on, heal me.
Chakrasan. Veerbhadrasan. Sun salutations. Let's copy. Funny.
चाहत के हाँ सपने सजोता था पहले भी धड़कन ये धुन कोई गाती थी पर अब जो होता है वो पहले न होता था
Twist is very important.
मुझे भी इस बार हुआ तो क्यों ना मैं भी कह दूं हुआ मुझे भी प्यार हुआ तेरा होने लगा होने लगा जब से मिला तेरा
Stay with the rhythm. Resonate your breath. Balancing pose is very important.
गुलशन जी
Stay. Be ready to fall.
आँखों से छू लूं के बाहें तरसती हैं दिल ने पुकारा
You can soften the volume now.
अब तो चले आओ आओगे शबनम की बूंदें बरसती
You can soften the volume. Let's finish off.
मौसम इशारा है हाँ अब तो चले आओ
Close it.
Thank you.
We have our panelists here.
It was a very fine session. I will now request the panelists to take over the session again.
Hello. Is this on? Yes, yeah. Hi, my name is Esther. I'm from South Wales in the UK. And I've been teaching yoga for about a year and a half now. I wanted to talk about pranayama and the importance of good breathing in respect to mental well-being in particular. There's lots I can talk about this. Pranayama is a very huge topic. But in a very short space of time, I'm particularly interested in the benefits of good breathing for our mental health. In the modern world, in the West, I know for sure, we live very high pressure, high stress lives. There's a lot of mental illness and a lot of very poor breathing. We don't breathe well, we breathe very shallow breaths, and we're always stressed. I know this from personal experience of 20 years of addiction and very deep unhappiness. When I started my yoga teacher training, I was an alcoholic. I was just coming out of a nervous breakdown, and through many tools, but learning to breathe in particular, I was able to let go of my addiction and my depression and all the other issues that I had that were causing me pain. And I've been sober for 19 months now. And a lot of that is down to breathing properly, learning to take deep breaths. And when we take that deep breath, it gives us that moment of peace and that space between the thing that might be causing us stress and our response. So whereas previously something would happen and I would immediately react to it from a very emotional perspective, learning to breathe meant that I was able to just take that deep breath and step back from the situation, and rather than reacting and then 5 minutes later thinking, I wish I hadn't said that, I was able to just pause and think of a response that was not going to be quite so destructive to either the relationship or myself or whatever the situation was. So when we breathe deeply, it balances out our nervous system. We tend to live in a the sympathetic nervous system, the flight or fight response, which is a healthy response to have if we're in danger, if we're under threat. But when that's our normal, and in the West, I know that is most people's normal, that is really unhealthy. And then we have issues like we have illnesses such as asthma, high blood pressure, mental health, mental illness, which is on the rise, digestive disorders, and many other, blood pressure, heart problems, they're all stress related, or they're exacerbated by stress. So if we learn to breathe deeply and take that slower, deeper breath, as you said, the ancient yogis did believe that we have a certain number of breaths to live, and if we can prolong those breaths, we live a longer life, and we can live a healthier life and a happier life. And I know from my own experience that learning to breathe deeply has improved my mental health beyond measure. I don't even feel like the same person that I was 2 years ago now. I look back and I see somebody completely different. And people who meet me now, when I tell them how I used to be, they have trouble sort of believing that I used to be that highly strung and that awful, horrible person. So it's improved my mental health, it's improved my physical health as well. I used to have a lot of digestive problems. I've got asthma, and my use of my inhaler has drastically reduced as a result of learning to breathe. And I talk to people now, I know I haven't got very long, so I'm going to wrap up now, but when I talk to people about yoga and about why I think yoga is beneficial, I don't really talk about the postures. The postures are important, but they're only a tiny fraction of yoga. Yoga is a whole way of life that promotes healthy living. And I would say that if you are interested in learning one thing that can improve your life in any way, shape or form, learn to breathe properly. It can transform your life. And even if you don't feel that you are particularly stressed, that you have particular problems, you would notice a tremendous difference in the quality of your skin, your sleep, your general demeanor, everything. Every single cell in your body will improve if you learn to breathe properly, nourish your body completely the way that we need to nourish it. Look at small children, look at the way they breathe and learn from them. Small children are our greatest teachers because they breathe properly. So I love to teach breathing, and I would be happy to go through some practices with anybody if you'd like to later, but I'm going to pass over to Lynn now, and I look forward to hearing you.
Thank you so much for this time. My name is Lynn Navarez. I'm from Washington State, and I'm a yoga instructor and also an ideal life vision coach. I started yoga quite a few years ago and had many injuries because I did what's called in the West gym yoga. I went to a gym and did the classes, and it was not good for me. I ended up with many injuries and quitting and coming back and quitting and coming back. And so finally I had a friend that was going for her teacher training, and she needed a client, a practice client. And so she chose me, and I was blessed to be able to do that. And she was trying to teach me about the breathing, but I didn't quite understand. It didn't make sense. I was like, no, let's just do the postures. I'm not interested in the meditation, the breathing, or the mantras, chanting, whatever. Just do the postures. And as time went on, I started recognizing that she was sneaking in the breathing. And I was like, oh wait, where did this come from? And it was awesome. I finally started recognizing how it was starting to begin to change my life. And then I decided it was my turn to take yoga teacher training. And we again came back to the breathing. I went, okay, now I really need to study this and understand it better and start practicing it. And what really helped me to begin practicing the breathing was with the meditation. I know you didn't have a chance to go over the meditation, but that is what I love to do on a daily basis. Every single day I have my meditation practice, and what I love to focus on is my breath. And I have found just one experience is I'm also an equestrian. I ride dressage, and my trainer has noticed. She's like, you're not stressed out anymore when you're riding. What's going on? And I go, well, you know, I'm doing yoga. And she goes, okay, fine. And so I was like all excited. I'm like, I'm going to practice some more breathing, more time in meditation, more time with breathing. And it just, my riding got better and better and better. And I just love it because what I finally recognized was, oh, as I'm on top of the horse, when I was trying to do something new or different, listening to my trainer, I would find myself not breathing. And so with me not breathing, that would tense the horse up also. And so he was feeling my tension of worry and stress about what we were supposed to be doing next. And now as we're together and we're doing our movements together and I'm practicing my breathing on him, I actually hear him physically exhale. And you can just see how he relaxes. And so that's just taking it, off the mat into the real world. Whatever you do, washing dishes, sweeping the floor, preparing dinner, whatever it is, I recognize that I was doing meditation without even knowing it, because I always thought meditation was you sit on a pillow, you cross your legs, you have your mudra, and you chant Om. I thought that's all it was. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I'm not ready for that. And when I looked back on my life as I started practicing more and more yoga and meditation was, for the past 5 years I've been doing meditation, because after I would ride, I would be the only one at the barn. I would decide that it was time to sweep up because nobody had cleaned up their messes. And it was quiet. It was 8 or 9 o'clock at night, nobody but the horses and myself, and I would be sweeping for an hour. Just calmly breathing, calmly sweeping, and I would go home and go to bed and wake up refreshed the next morning. And I didn't even know I was doing it. So think about breathing in your daily life. That's what I would encourage you to do, is just, both of you have both said the importance of breathing all the time, and you'll recognize that if you think about being more aware of your body, be present in your body, and just practice that breathing wherever you are. If you're in the store, if you're in a line somewhere and it's taking forever and you feel that anxiety and agitation and frustration come up, stop for a moment and just breathe. It feels so much better, and you'll feel your whole body change. And it's wonderful. Breathing is amazing. So I'm going to turn it back to you for questions and answers. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I want to ask you, breathing of course very important. How deep or how shallow? What is the difference? How much deep breathing? I mean, how do we say that when we inhale, we take it deep inside? How much deep?
There are various ways of breathing, and the breath generally completely changes, as I said, with emotions, right? So, depending on which pranayamic technique you are doing, for example, Kapalbhati is active exhalations, Bhastrika is etc. But when you are saying how much, you're talking about daily life, in the day, right? 24/7. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to go, okay, now I want to fill my lungs till the third lobe. I want to empty my lungs from the third lobe. No. No. What Vipassana teaches is a combination of meditation and breathing right. What does it say? It says the moment you are aware, there is a change. The erratic breathing happens because we are not aware, which means gently close your eyes. Close your eyes. All of us. Let's all close our eyes. Once we gently close our eyes, we consciously take awareness of air going into the nostrils and air coming out of the nostrils. We are focusing only on the upper lip area. There is a change in the temperatures. When the air is going in, it's cooler. When it comes out, it's warmer. All we need to do currently is be extremely aware every moment and extremely equanimous every moment. Pratikshan sajak, which means every moment aware. Pratikshan tatastha, which means every moment equanimous. Equanimity means no attachments for any likes, pleasant things, pleasant feelings, and no dislikes for unpleasantness, hatreds, and things that don't turn up to our expectations, which means no rag, attachment, no dvesh, aversion, only watch, watch, and watch. Slowly open the eyes.
When you breathe sometimes, your stomach goes up, out and in, and sometimes it doesn't because your breath is just here. So what is the right technique?
Fabulous question. What happens is, when we are very conscious, the stomach goes in and out more. And when we are very unaware, the breath is shallow. During shallow breaths, there isn't a movement in the abdomen. Children are born abdominal breathers. What happens with abdominal breathing is that we detense every organ in the abdomen. A deliberate abdominal breathing. We push the pelvic platform down and out, and therefore avoiding urdhva vayu, which means the air element going up into the head, and therefore avoiding problems of hammering head, temples, migraine, etc. But that is when you actually are conscious of abdominal breathing. When it's not moving, it means it's a shallow breath. They say that the capacity of the breath of the lungs is 6 liters. And we generally use only 1.5 liters. So if we are using the full lung capacity, there is a movement in the diaphragm, which is this fabulous floor to the lungs and ceiling to the abdomen. And that's what moves. And that's required. Abdominal breathing is extremely important to tone the abdominal organs, to the visceral organs. Shallow breathing always brings about stillness, unless it's Svaryo, which we just practice. Anapan, consciously taking awareness of cool air going in and warm air coming out.
The daily routine, work we are doing. So who takes the attention away from the breath.
Correct.
So it remains there.
Correct.
But when it comes back, I have to breathe deeply.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many.
Yeah. So what happens is practice helps tremendously. That's the reason why in my talk I said that they leave it on a Friday morning, come back on a Monday morning with Ujjayi breath. Okay? So just before sleeping, sit comfortably on your bed, don't change the breath, sit and watch starting counting in a reverse direction from 108 in a descending order. Don't change your breath. Air went in, air came out 107, 106, 105 and so on. In case you lose count at 80 or 86, again awareness on 108. Why? Why are we doing this? We're doing this because the Bhagavad Gita says that the human mind is like an intoxicated monkey bitten by a scorpion. So busy do we keep it with breath awareness that we are just not giving it any scope for thoughts, and so that we sleep well. This practice will help you when it is literally behaving in the day with work and all as an intoxicated monkey bitten by a scorpion. We're again going to focus on the breath. The mind and the body have this weird, this awesome combination. It's like a plane taking off on a runway. When the ground staff is waving, it can back out. The ground staff can start with the wheels of the plane to go on the runway. It can start running with the plane. It can still catch up with the wings. It can run like crazy. But there comes a point when the wheels are off, up in the air. We can't fly. The ground staff can't fly. So we bring that breath back, and that is pranayama.
I want to ask you, like, I go to my gym very regularly, 5 times a week, and I'm a little confused between gym and yoga. Some people tell me that I should do yoga and not do gym at my age. So you have to help me here because I'm not getting on hairs and all that. So what is better?
The mantra in my class for each and every student is Sahaj Atma Swarup Param Guru. Sahaj means our pure divine self. Sahaj, the purest, the way we were born. Atma is our soul, the deepest part of our being. Swarup means our own. Swa means swa, us. Rup means self, right? Param, ultimate, guru. Our own selves are our ultimate gurus. If you think that going to the gym class is as meditative as or more meditative than yoga, it's giving you the bliss, you are on a high, by all means go there.
It's not meditative at all. Gym is not meditative.
Do a workout that you enjoy. Be it the elliptical, be it walking, be it yoga. Yoga is also physical. You don't have to do 108 Surya Namaskars to be a size 0. You do 18 postures with awareness, breathe right. We do food meditation. What is food meditation? Again, like that buffet table, human beings are the only species that eat everything. You're watching her sari, you're watching someone else's jewelry, you're talking to a third person, you're looking at the plates, you're doing so many things when you're out at a party, right? They say be with your food. Take a walnut, keep it on your palm, stare at it, salivate, place it between your tongue and your hard palate and bite it, bite it, bite it, bite it till you don't have to swallow or gulp. It has to disappear on your tongue. Okay? This is food meditation. So, whether it is gymming, whether it's swimming, whether it is your workout, whether it is yoga, so many of my students say that you do power yoga, monsoon yoga, this, that, whichever yoga. There are often these WhatsApp group chats. What do you all want to do day after tomorrow? Oh yeah, okay, you want to do a run through? Yeah, I forgot. April, May, you all travel. You ordered your room service tea or whatever, and in 20 minutes you want to do a run through. 2 standing, 2 sitting, 2 lying down, 2 back bends, 2 twists, 2 inversions, 1 or 2 sun salutations, 1 or 2 pranayama, and you're done in 16 minutes. So you don't feel corroded with guilt. I tell everyone, don't corrode yourself with guilt because you took a big break. It's fine to keep your one foot in a gym door or a swim door or a yoga door. But it's not compulsory. Don't be harsh on yourself. Check what you enjoy.
I won't decide for the rest of my life.
You can't. You can't decide even for tomorrow. Just decide for today. Just decide for today. Are you going to decide for the rest of your life what you're going to eat?
No. I mean, every day following this 15 minutes.
No, don't be regimental on yourself ever.
So
because then
on that
you will be a bad role model even for everyone around you. Your children, learn from them instead. Don't be harsh, don't be regimental. Who knows, maybe your gymming or swimming or whatever is as much yoga. What is yoga? You're connecting with your breath, with yourself. You'll probably eat lesser if you're doing that workout in a yogic form with fewer asanas and mindfully rather than sweating it out and eating ravenously. So you decide.
Thanks. I just have something to add with what you were sharing. Was like as you're practicing your breathing, as you're practicing your breathing, you're actually becoming more aware of your body, which we talked about here today. And as you become more in tune with your body, you know what your body needs. And you're going to go, and you're either going to do the gym, or you're going to go walking, or you're going to go swimming, or you'll ride a horse, or you'll do yoga, whatever it is. Just do your breathing.
Pranayam there, or I would rather not do it.
I would rather do it in cleaner air. I think because when you're, at least for me, when I'm deep breathing, you're getting it way down deep into your lungs, and that air is going throughout your entire body. And so you're going to want to be in more healthy air.
So in Delhi, the pollution levels here at pranayama is not advisable.
But what is that inside your own home? I mean, I can see outside if you go to a park and it's really polluted that day, but what about in your home? Wouldn't it be more clear?
As long as you're not sitting just next to the exhaust pump of your car, it's okay. There isn't much of a choice, and that's the reason why asthma patients are generally taken away to Mahabaleshwar or Panchgini or Pune.
Is it okay that you're in the house? I mean, some people say you should go to be fresh.
Yes.
And you know that because you're home.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If the park across my road is not as fresh air because it's close to that road and because there are those trucks and vans, as much as it is within my home, I'd rather do it in the house.
Like sometimes people say, you should put it breathing fresh air. When you're doing your pranayama, you're not in that room.
There is that Wi-Fi radiation gauge. That 6 to 20, 20 is really bad, gives you brain tumor, it's not good. It's the same way with air. You are the best judge to know. You're not always going to be able to leave that garden or home and go away. You have to live in that city, you have no choice. Find your areas.
The point of this is not just you do pranayama and then you go back to your regular breathing. The point of it is to improve your lung capacity so that you're breathing better all the time. So you're breathing deeply when you're in your house, you're breathing deeply when you're in the shops, you're breathing deeply all the time. I mean, I am much more conscious of it now. So wherever I'm doing, I try to make sure I'm aware of my breath. So if I'm in my car, I'm breathing deeply. The only thing that I know that Swami Nityananda, whose yoga I've been trained in, he wouldn't teach anyone who is a smoker. Because if you're learning to breathe deeply and you're expanding your lungs, and then you're breathing in cigarette smoke, you're taking that toxin directly to parts of your lungs that have never been accessed before. And I'm not sure what he would say about the pollution levels in Delhi now. I've been wondering about this myself. But I think that if you're living in Delhi, and this is the environment that you're in, you're still going to benefit from breathing better anyway, as long as you're not adding that extra toxins by smoking. You're going to benefit because breathing better, breathing deeper does help you in so many other ways as well.
She said something beautiful. She said you'd rather do it and increase your lung capacity than not do it because pollution is the issue.
Right.
Let's sum up this session. Few things that we'll be carrying forward with this session, that is, do yogas, do pranayamas, and breathe correctly. That's it. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, speakers, and thank you, Panamas.
Thank you, Dina. Lovely, yeah. Very nice.
भैया एक 60% एक टू ठीक है भैया
Two cards.
कुछ भी नहीं करना एक छूट गई और फिर से 108 से रिवर्स ऑर्डर
Did that? What is it, some yogasan or something, or what was it that cured my And after that writing, his mind's eye is focusing. When I was writing along, eyeballs were not moving. The movement, eyeballs were and you're sitting properly at the salon, you got the salon process. Yes, my ego is So how do I without the horse, how do I do that?
Because when I like for 2 weeks, I'm not going to be able to ride because
Yes.
I'm here. And
So how would you, what is that those muscles? What do I do that those muscles come to use?
the back, it's, I do a lot of vehicle moves and that helps.
That's
Some of my favorite ones.
in case that's just do
And then just coming down slowly.
slowly
and moving. Yoga should be never hurt.
You should never.
Never. I've learned that. You stop. Because every day you're going to be able to go to a different place. Okay, and so you just practice it. And then I love to hold my poses and breathe into the poses. So you're down here. And then the next one is like your half lotus.
Oh, here from the
Nice. Breathing for a little while. And then to open the shoulders. That
Oh,
is
yes.
when you're on the horse.
Yes.
And then coming down slowly.
Inhale, count to 4, exhale,
And you
count
I
to
can
6.
feel it. And
Yeah,
exactly.
you feel it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel longer.
exactly. And then another one that's good is
Touch the it is shut. Alternate nostril
do it. You got to do it on both sides always, all the time. Another good one is your forward bend.
Do invest time.
Just resting here. And you're trying to keep the back flat, and so what I like to do is just pretend that my chest is what's trying to reach the floor. You can do a rounded also, but it's also very good to do the flat back. So that's why I like to have my arms in and breathing.
Yes.
And hold it here.
Yes.
You practice for 20
But don't become uncomfortable.
and you're more because it turns your whole day into the right way.
Strengthening your
Correct.
core is huge.
So,
Core. I love to do this.
yes. This is very relaxing also.
And just breathe here. And it's great for your arms too.
Yes, good for the arms.
Yeah. Or then there's also the long does the straightening your legs out.
Yes.
Yeah. So those are the two. But again,
I haven't used 20 years.
No.
you can, but you can also
Start
like
with Google.
just Google it, YouTube. What I would do is yoga, horses, yoga, equestrian. Yeah, yoga poses, equestrian, yoga poses, horse, that kind of thing. And that's how I was finding certain poses that were very helpful for when you're riding. And so I find whether you are on the horse or off the horse, they're very helpful in life.
I am very sure about it.
Good.
Because I am right now, and I feel that my back is
Maybe the topics. Because I had 1,000 slides. See, I would muscles and riding 3 years. I don't want to just topic.
Yeah, it's the back of the
Yeah, this is. So anything which, like, will feed it here. So.
Right, and then strengthening the stomach muscles is so important because that's all connected to the back. Yes. So maintaining a strong stomach. Okay, do what's healthy for you. Yes, that's the thing.
So that's why I like to. But actually, that's
Right, because I have an idea. Right, right. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. But really, being aware of your body is something's just not right. Find another way. Don't just go because it's just a you.
was before Monica.
I पति के
My grandmama.
ये खत्म हो गया
My grandson.
तो पति के लिए भाई तो ये